Hey, Tony.
Hi. Good afternoon. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Yourself?
Good. Great.
Yeah, good to see you
Yeah,
here.
it's great to be here.
You know,
Yes, sir.
sitting here with the great Tony Campbell, alto saxophonist
Yes, sir.
of Pittsburgh reputation. And how long have you been playing saxophone?
I've been playing Mensah since I was 13.
All right. So what brought your interest to the saxophone?
Actually, I heard Isaac Hayes, the Shaft soundtrack,
Oh, okay.
and I heard vibes. I heard a bass player, and I heard a saxophone. And originally, I wanted to play all three, but I narrowed it down to saxophone because elementary school they don't have vibes or bass. So when I got in junior high school, there was only one saxophone in Heron Hill Junior High School. Mr. William Lewis was my teacher.
Okay.
And so I had to beg him from September to almost Christmas. So I got the saxophone around November or October, and I started playing in a band 2 weeks afterwards.
Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. What a blessing.
Yes, it was.
Turned out for all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So as an alto saxophone player, I mean, who was the inspiration as far as who would you look to or listen to?
Well, around the house, my father had the jazz recordings. He had a recording of Duke Ellington. He had the Texas Tenors, Ornette Cobb, Illinois Jacket. So I listened to those players just around the house. But when I started playing alto, he had the Cannonball Adderley record, Live at the Lighthouse.
All right.
Okay. And I started listening to that, so I fell in love with Cannonball. But Grover Washington was big at the time. So I started listening to Grover. Then somewhere around 18 or 17, I heard Charlie Parker. And that was it.
All right. Well, the book opened? Or?
Yes, the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, you can really do this with a saxophone. It was quite inspiring, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, they say Bird still lives.
Bird lives. Yes, he does.
No question.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, give thanks. So most recently, we had this experience where you sat in with Roy Ayers. And the word came to me prior to the event that you had played with him some time ago. Tell us about that.
I was a young jazz musician. I had just come from Berklee College of Music, and I was at home, and I met John Squirrel Mosley. And
Trumpet player.
Trumpet player, right. He was currently with Roy. He had been with Roy for years,
okay.
About 8 or 9 years at that point. And so in the lineage of the saxophone players here, I was maybe next in line, as they say. I was 22, and John called Roy, and he was making another. It was a record at that time. He was making another CD, and he says, "I have a saxophone player for you." Roy said, "Okay." Sight unseen, never heard me. John took me to New York, so we recorded in Electric Lady Studios. I recorded with Roy. And then he asked me, "Can you stay in New York a couple of days?" And we're going to Boston for our first gig, right where I just left college. So,
how old were you?
22.
Wow.
That was my first time in New York, first time.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What a blessing.
Yeah.
So what was the recording you made with him?
It was called Feeling Good. It wasn't one of his well-known albums, but I did a few tracks.
What year was that?
This had to be 1982.
Yeah, so 1982, you're first stepping out into the professional realm.
Very much so.
You know.
John, I owe everything to John. He, that was my claim to fame. He actually took my hand and put me on the road to music, on this musical journey that I've been on.
All right, well, that's a good thing. So now, since 1982, you said? Have you played with Roy since?
I may have sat in one time, sometime in the latter part of the 80s, around 88, 89, because I was gone most of the 90s. I was away playing. So, yeah, one time, I think around 88, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay. Were you in Pittsburgh when he played at Harambe Festival? That was around
in Homewood. I think I was there. That's
I brought
it.
him there.
I remember that. Yeah, Kelly Street.
Right.
I think I did. I did play with him then. That's the last time I played with him, I think.
Okay.
Matter of fact.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, what was the experience like playing with him at this concert recently?
Wow. There were many things going through my mind. The first thing was I gave him a copy of John's obituary and things that were at his funeral. So I wanted to make sure that the world was with him now, where he should be. And so when we were on stage playing, these thoughts from when we were on tour back in '82 started to come to my mind. And it felt like John had come down on the stage. And these thoughts were going through, and the audience was so attentive. They were so quiet, I thought something was wrong. They were so intense. And so we're starting to play, and Roy has me going back and forth with Ray. We're going back and forth. And I looked around, and I looked over at Ray. I looked over at Donald, the bass player. I looked back at Brian. I looked at Roy. And I realized Roy said he was 71. Now I'm 52
72.
now. Yeah, I'm 52 now. I'm like, wow, we're all old now. We're all older now.
Yeah.
That just overwhelmed me, because I knew that an era had happened. You know, I had gone. It's been 30 years, so it's my life.
Yeah.
I just saw. You know how you see your life in front of you. You know, I just saw my musical life in front of me. It was incredible.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's a spiritual
Very much so.
revelation, so
Very
to
much
speak,
so. Very
you
much
know.
so.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing. And was there anything else about the, the event in your interaction with him that was of any significance?
Yeah. He was real close to me when I was playing. I could feel him close to me when I was soloing. And he stepped back one time and he said, "You sound good." He said, "And your spirit's okay." That meant a great deal to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Well, I can understand that and
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I feel the same thing about your spirit.
Thank
your
you.
spirit is okay.
Thank
Good,
you.
thanks.
Thank you.